Okay, so I'm just going to give you a quick overview of how to maybe increase your FPS. Maybe you've optimized it to the best that you can get it and you're getting great FPS as it is. If you've just installed the game and you're just running it and you've never tweaked anything with your PC, with your display, with your monitor, within the game itself, you might tweak some of the graphical settings. There are other things that you can do. So we'll actually just have a look at that. Just try it. And you may well actually find that your FPS actually goes up quite a bit. So we'll come into the game, so we just go to options there. Okay, go to video, and then what we can do is always have it on full screen. If it's windowed, sometimes people do that. They'll often have it on windowed because they don't. I do Alt Tab if I've got several windows open, but people like it like that because they can just tab out and they can kind of have it kind of reduced, but it will actually affect your FPS, so don't put it on full screen. Your target display is monitor 1. It'll only show me as monitor 1 because that's the only monitor that's attached to this PC. You might have a dual PC setup, you might have a dual monitor setup, and so you might see monitor 1, monitor 2. You're going to have this set on what the main monitor is that you game on. So that's monitor 1 for me. Resolution, well, for me it's going to be, it might be less because obviously you're running it on a crappier PC or a crappier monitor. You might be on a better monitor. So for me, so people might see 144 here. If you've got a 144 hertz monitor, it'll say 44. You could go higher on the settings. I would probably say keep it at 1920, 1080. And then if your refresh rate is a 144 monitor, have it on 144. If it's not at 75, keep it on that. If it's less than that at 50, keep it on that. But try and keep it at 1920, 1080. Field of view, doesn't really matter. You can change this up or down really. I just keep it 103 maxed out. Aspect ratio, obviously, monitors are in 16:9. You want it to display as that, so do that. VSync off, double buffering off, reduce buffering on, display performance stats. Really, this is just, see at the top here, FPS, my standing FPS. You'll see it change in a minute. Temperature, I just like to see that kind of stuff. You can technically do the triple buffering on if you want. You can try it. It won't be much of an FPS increase, but it is there. And what you'll often see is up here on the FPS, there's little dots that can perform. Mine's clear at the moment, but if you get like 3, what it tends to mean is that your GPU is being throttled. So actually, you better to have it off. I just standard have it off, but if I put it on, I don't think really there's much FPS increase. We keep it as off. I keep it as off anyway. Reduce buffering on. Let's come down to custom. Yeah, okay. So if let's say you were a 144 monitor, you could do display base, and it would run at like 144, so it would run in tandem with your monitor. You'd be getting like 144. I tend to, I just prefer it as custom. I keep it at like 214. I might get in-game 213, maybe 214. Maybe in a team fight, it might go down to about 160. It varies. So you've got to think that sometimes when it's standing, like now, it's at 60. You'll see later when I take it into the game, that will change very significantly. But what you might find is you might get like 214, 260 even outside of a team fight. But once you get into a team fight, it drops. Why? Because obviously you've got a cluster of characters all on the screen at the same time. If you've ever played WoW, you go into Dalaran because there's thousands of people in there, your frame rate drops. Similar thing, the more that you have happening on your screen at the same time. So that when you get into a team fight, 6 on 6, that's the kind of most impactful on your FPS. So sometimes if you have this set, like I maybe have mine set 214, what will happen is get into a team fight and it drops to 150. It can swing. My FPS goes up and down. It'll try and keep it at this 214, so it goes up, down, up, down, up, down. That sometimes is not a great thing. You might be better to put it to 150 and then just run at that. And that way you'll probably get 150 all the time. When you try and shoot something, it's not this kind of seesaw action. But this works for me. I keep it at 214. and I don't really have any issues. But you can tweak that. You just play around with it, just lower it if you're not sure. If you think you're getting about 120 FPS in a team fight, keep it at that. You kind of have to just toggle this around. I try and get the maximum. I know, I'll leave it at 210 anyway. Graphics, well, you want it on low. A lot of people will have this on medium, high. If they've got a lower end machine, they'll probably have it on medium. It doesn't really matter. It'll not really affect actually the quality on screen. I was shocked by this because I actually did have it on ultra because I liked the new PC. I like the aesthetic nature of it. Don't worry about that. You're trying to get more FPS. Put it on low. Okay, let's go to this next section. So you got render quality, render scale. So I always have that on 75. You could push it to 100. Really going to affect too much. I wouldn't put it to 50. It's going to be too blurry. Try it if you've got a super high-end machine. Maybe try it and just see what, and a better monitor. See what it looks like. Again, try it out. There's no harm. Text quality low. Everything low, low, low. Reflections are shadow detail. Sometimes if you want to, you could have it on low, I guess. If you know, sometimes if you're really observant, you can see shadows on somebody above you. Really, I don't bother with that. Low, low, low. Anti-alias off. Refraction quality low. And just 1 times resolution for screenshot. You can have it more taking a lot of screenshots, I guess, but most people don't really. But you can just change that if you're doing that. If you like, I don't know, if you skin whore and you're kind of just taking pictures of all the new skins out there, then maybe, you know, you can up this up to 9 on mine. So local reflections off, ambient occlusion off. These really aren't going to affect anything. And then obviously you want to click apply. Mine are all set at that. So if you're changing yours to these settings, obviously you're going to apply. It will probably actually ask you, come up, flash up red on the bottom, and it will actually ask you to restart the game. So just shut the game down, restart it, and then those settings will be applied. And pretty much that's it. If you haven't messed with the FPS settings before, you'll probably see quite a big jump, I would imagine. Right, okay. So as you can see here, find my aim. If you look in the top left-hand corner, the FPS is like 209. I can get it higher than that, but I throttled it at 210 if you remember. So now, can you see the red outline? So that's what you get with that low FXA. A gives you that lovely little red outline there, which is pretty handy. And if you have a look, even at a distance, even when he's there, so I really like that. It's a good, this kind of gives you that kind of, I can see the red much more clearly. I can see actually the interior of the character. Okay, let's just come out of this then. Exit to desktop, and we'll show you a few other things. Right, okay. If you got an NVIDIA, which I say most people, I think most people have. So click on your NVIDIA on your right hand tray, click on that, you'll come, and then come down to manage 3D settings. It'll probably take you straight onto global settings. When it does, just move across to program settings. I've already got this set up. You might want to add, like if you click on add, there it will bring up various programs. You just come down here and you click on your Overwatch application, and then what you'll set up is you'll set up actual settings for the game itself. These are global, so this is outside of the game what you're using, but actually here you can set independent settings for the actual game itself. So if you just follow these, I could explain them all, but there's probably no point to it. Image sharpening, global off, on that side. It's not, ambient occlusion is not supported. In X3 are just off. Anti-aliasing mode you want as global setting. Global setting, transparency off, global setting. Low latency latency I put on ultra. Maximum frame rate 262. You can mess around with that. You don't have to do that. You could click on it and bring it down. Set it to whatever you think. So if it's that 150, 160, you think you're going to get, set it to that. But of course you will only get that. And if you've got a high end PC, you'll probably be able to get more. So don't limit yourself. A multi-frame sample, leave it as a global setting. OpenGL, rendering with your GPU, auto select, power management mode, prefer maximum performance, of course, shader cache, just leave global setting. Texture filtering off, filtering negative, allow. Quality high performance, optimization off. Use global setting, auto triple over it off. Vertical sync and then pre-rendering frames. You may have this here, but again, mine just says not supported, but if it is, just put it off. And then that's pretty much it for that. Again, so try that and then just click add it, Overwatch program, check these settings, make sure it's on the program, add the Overwatch program, come down, set them all as this, and then you can just exit it. You don't need to save on that side, and that will do that. Also, I would make sure right click on your desktop, any area on your desktop, right click, display settings, bring you to display here on the side, come down to advanced display settings, and then display your adapter, whichever it is for your main monitor, and then go to monitor, and then here let's say I just bought a 144. I've just bought a 75 hertz week ago, but I bought what I think is a better branded Iliama monitor than a cheap 144 I could have gone for, but I'll pick up another one, a 144 monitor for this PC in about a month. But anyway, so let's say you're on a 144 and you've installed it. If you haven't come here, it might actually still be running only at 75 or 60. Make sure you come in here and actually, so 144, you'll have a 144 setting above this one. Make sure it's on its highest setting there, otherwise you won't get. So you might be playing on a 144 hertz monitor, actually you might be playing it on the 75 and not even realizing you're not actually making the most benefit out of it. Click apply, okay, then you can come out of that. You can also, like I have my Overwatch over here, so you can either go in and find it within File Manager, or but if you just right click, Properties, bring the box across, okay, you'll see here, obviously it's bringing up your launcher button, and then what you want to do is you want to just go to Compatibility, from there, okay. Now normally this would not be clicked, this disable full screen optimizations. It will give you an FPS boost. Click that, okay, click apply. That pretty much is it. Also, let me have a look. I've come out of the game. You can actually see down here, let me just bring it up, FPS monitor. If you want to test your FPS, just go and download FPS monitor. It's free, you don't have to, you can just try it for free. It will only load, you saw it before when I was in game, like it'll come up with these figures here. When you bring a game up, I haven't got that. I was to start Overwatch today. Do that, it'll come up with the figures. But it's a good way to just test your FPS. Like now you can see it's come up, it'll probably go back to standing of 60. Usually within game it's about 213, so it'll go back to that standing at 60. This is my FPS in game. So if I went into training, say training here, and you'll probably see that will jump up to about 210. I think. Yes. Jump up, yeah, there you go. With every death, so you can see on the top left, it's about 210 FPS there. That isn't within a team fight, so I can say you may only get about 150 on that. So right, aiming on Hanzo is something to be desired, I think. But yeah, so go and get FPS, and then you can try it. You can try it before the settings that I've kind of advised you to make, and those settings you can toy around with if you prefer things in a certain way. Just kind of tweak them a little bit. Just try them, but if you got the FPS monitoring, when you change those settings, you'll be able to write down. Okay, so when you first open up your PC, when you do Overwatch, what is your FPS? And then just write that down. It'll show you, on the monitor here, if you're running the software. And then change the settings, then come back and run it again, and then just see what you get. You might get 20, you might get 50, you might get 100. I don't really know. It depends on how your PC set up. This way you can actually monitor all the changes that you're making. Now at the moment I can see my RAM's only running like 6.4 out of 16 gig. Pretty decent. I think my CPU is only, usually averages about 50%, but it's running from 32 to 51, I think. And pretty much I think that's it. So maybe just try those settings, leave your comments below, and let me know if you do try them and you get an FPS increase. There's a lot of people, I think, giving out information out there already on YouTube, which I picked it up from, that actually probably explain it a lot better than I do. But I thought I'd just make a little video, and anybody who goes to my YouTube site, FEN2U, FEN, numeral 2, the alphabetical letter U, got a little resource here. Try it, see if it gives you an FPS increase. If it does, let me know, and don't forget to subscribe. Yes, thanks very much. I'm going to go and play a bit of Overwatch now. Take care.